Hey everybody. So today I want to talk about the Winnipeg Jets, particularly their defense, which I think they've certainly improved this offseason. And Winnipeg as a whole is a team that I think really could be sneaky good in the Central Division. And as long as everyone stays healthy, or relatively healthy, should easily be a playoff team this year. We already know that they have a great goaltender in Connor Hellebuck. They've got a talented forward group that can put the puck in the net, particularly their top six. But their biggest question, really for the last few years, has been their D-core. And when you compare their defense last year to their defense this year, at least on paper, on their roster, it definitely looks a lot better this year. And this is a team that I think could be even better this season than what we saw them be last year. And they were a playoff team last season. So before we get into it here, do just want to ask you to hit that subscribe button and thumbs up. It really helps out a lot and is greatly appreciated. But let's take a look at the Jets defense here after the moves that they have made this offseason. So if you look back to last season's D-core, these are all the players, their top 7 guys that played double-digit games last season. Obviously, Josh Morrissey and Neil Pionk were their top guys. Derek Forbort played over 20 minutes a night. Dillon DeMello, Tucker Poolman, Logan Stanley, and Nathan Beaulieu was kind of the number 7 guy. That's not a particularly great D-core on paper. Pionk was their best guy as far as points go. Morrissey, obviously, a top 2 guy for them. After that, there was a big drop-off. Derek Forbort was the only other defenseman to have double-digit points, and he had 12. DeMello didn't have a particularly strong year. Poolman was decent, but isn't there anymore, obviously. Him and Forbort have left in free agency. We kind of saw the emergence of Logan Stanley, who's a real big, tough, physical defensive defenseman. You're probably not going to see much offense out of him. And then Beaulieu is kind of an extra guy. But all in all, just looking at that 2020-2021 defense, it's not a great D-core on paper. They were still a good team, however, and they certainly got by with this defense. They were a playoff-level team. They had a solid year, and Morrissey and Pionk were really able to kind of carry the load. Forbort had a solid season, and they got by. But now let's look at their defense, at least as of right now, heading into 2021-22. Obviously, Josh Morrissey and Neil Pionk are still there to lead the way. But they brought in Nate Schmidt from Vancouver, who had a very bad year with the Vancouver Canucks, but has definite upside, has definite talent, and if he gets back to being the Nate Schmidt that we saw in Vegas, could really be a massive improvement to this D-core and really improve their top 4. And they also added Brenden Dillon from the Washington Capitals, who I am a huge fan of and always have been. I think he can very much replace Derek Forbort's role in the lineup and actually be a little bit of an upgrade over Forbort in the lineup. Obviously, they still have Dillon DeMello. Logan Stanley, another year older, another year of experience. Expect a bigger role for him. And then Nathan Beaulieu is there as, an extra guy. They also have Sami Niku and Ville Heinola, who really didn't play big roles last year. They played, 5-6 games each. They could potentially move up into the top 6 this year and knock out somebody like Beaulieu or DeMello or Stanley, depending on what happens. But if not, I think Winnipeg is still in good shape and still has a much better D-core this year than what they had last year. And I think the additions of Schmidt and Dillon are absolute upgrades over Forbort and Poolman, both offensively and defensively. Dillon, I think, is, obviously more of a defensive guy. He can play that Derek Forbort role very, very well. And then Schmidt is going to add some offense that they didn't have last year. I mean, when it came to offensive defensemen, Neil Pionk was really it. He had 32 points. Morrissey had 21, and Morrissey definitely does have some offensive ability and upside, but Pionk was really the offensive guy. Schmidt now can come in and be, I think, like a 30-plus point player for Winnipeg and add another guy with some offensive upside to this team. which is something that they definitely were lacking. And I think even Dillon's a guy who can have 25 to 30 points and also play well defensively. So just when you look at what's been subtracted from their D-core with Forbort and Pullman and what's been added to their D-core with Schmidt and Dillon, that's an absolute upgrade. And their top four is much more well-rounded, much more filled out this season from what it was last year. So looking at this lineup, looking at this D-core, that's a big difference, and that's a big improvement from last season with Schmidt and Dillon coming in. DeMello gets knocked further down the lineup, which will get him more in a bottom pair role, which is where I think he belongs. Logan Stanley, we'll see, how much improvement we see out of him. Obviously, I have Niku and Hinola, kind of young guys that haven't established themselves in the NHL lineup yet, potentially getting an NHL role this year. But nonetheless, their top seven this year is definitely better than what their top seven was last year. And again, they've got a good top six forward group and really a good top nine. Their top nine is very, very solid. They can put the puck in the net. They've got a Vezina level goaltender in Connor Hellebuck. And now their defense is better. The Jets should be a better team this year than what they were last year because they have absolutely improved the weakest position on the team, which was their defense. They've improved significantly, and we should see that, and that should be reflected in how they play and in their record this coming season. They're a better team. The Winnipeg Jets are a better team this coming year in 2021-22 than they were last season. So I fully expect the Jets to be a playoff team. I like what they've done. I like the improvements to their defense. And assuming, they stay relatively healthy, they should absolutely be one of the playoff teams from the Central Division. And, I think something that could derail that would obviously be Connor Hellebuck getting injured. I think that would pretty much be the end of the Jets if that were to happen. If they were to lose Morrissey or Pionk for large portions of the year, that would definitely hurt. If they were to lose, somebody out of their top six, that would definitely hurt. But all in all, with their roster constructed how it is, I think the Jets are a better team this year. And I really like the improvements that they made. So just looking at these two D-cores on paper, they're better in 2021-22 than they were in 2020-2021. And that was an area that needed improvement. I think the Jets went out and did it. And I like what they've done. I like what I see as far as this D-core goes. I think their top four is much better. And that's going to lead to better production on the ice from their defense. So Winnipeg improved the D for sure this offseason. I like the moves that they made. I think we're going to see a big bounce back year from Nate Schmidt. I think Dillon provides a very good top four two-way defenseman for them to kind of replace Derek Forbort. And all in all, I think this team is better. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys soon.